Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is preseason football on EA Sports. Up next, we'll see a man who's been in charge for more than a decade, Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions, as they match up with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the space city of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room, and we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. Brandon Godden, Charles Davis, happy to be back alongside you. And I'll tell you what, yes, it's just week 2 of the preseason, but now they've got one game under their belts, and a lot of guys trying to prove some stuff down on the field here today.
Not only that, these coaches like to win. And I used to think it really didn't matter who won in the preseason. Then I watched some of those shows that the NFL does, and you see the coaches in preseason after a loss jumping all over their guys. So I learned one valuable lesson. Wins and losses count no matter what time of year it is.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Texans offense heading out, and it's Deshaun Watson leading the way, the third-year man out of Clemson. Last year, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, but the big number for the Texans, he was sacked a league-high 62 times. They'll try to do better in this one. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
I have no idea where they're putting in the food in the Martin household, but they've developed 2 terrific offensive linemen. Brother Zach, a perennial all-pro at guard with the Dallas Cowboys, but Nick, no slouch at center for the Houston Texans. He sets the tone for their offensive line. He's the pivot up front.
From the 29, Watson setting up the screen for Miller. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down. And the starting crew defensively for Detroit.
As the Detroit Lions continue to rebuild their defense, they were so excited about the opportunity to acquire defensive end Trey Flowers from New England, who always put on big performances in the playoffs and in Super Bowls. And now the Lions, looking forward to seeing that game in and game out. 7.5 sacks is his career high. They'd love to see that number get to double digits.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is third down and 6. A shotgun snap for Watson. He finds his target, Fuller. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Watson with a give to Miller, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Miller. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss of 2 there. Second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Set, 19. Watch time, watch time. Tight end right, tight end right. Now let's go.
On 2nd and 12, Watson. His throw incomplete. The 2017 All-Pro Darius Slay there in coverage, knocking it away. He's a second-round pick, a solid second-round pick. But when you're close to that first round, do you come in with a little chip on your shoulder?
You definitely do, because now your money's not the same. But even more than that, it's the prestige. Everyone wants to be a first-round pick, and he thought his talent demanded that. And I do know some teams in the league that first.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Melvin. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field.
Set, 180. Watch it, so we got man.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. It's caught at the 10. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones. 48 yards as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you have to love the scheme that they just showed there, because if you're going to run a deep post, you ordinarily have to get a safety out of the middle of the field. And you do it one of two ways, either by running routes at him that carries him away from it, or you either freeze him in the middle with routes that run underneath so that he doesn't get depth. Then you throw it over the top, and boy, what a successful play that was.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. Pretty clean and simple there, just two plays, the long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 to score as they start 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later. Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Play action for Miller. Now Watson going deep for Hopkins. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, here's Watson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
So now here in the second week of the preseason, you'd expect the starters play a little bit more than they did in week one, but not a whole lot.
So if you're an offensive coordinator, what are you looking for?
What you're looking for is things getting cleaned up as you go along, because most of your playbook's probably installed. How well are they handling it? Easy in and out of the huddle? No mental mistakes? Are they starting to look like a good offensive football team?
Fourth down, so the Texans dial up the number of their second-year punter, Trevor Daniel. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Stafford with a give. This is Riddick. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. 23 yards to pick up there.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Ready. 180. Don't get nervous.
Now Riddick. And an alley to run. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. First down Lions on a pickup of 13.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 42-yard line. A look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Set. 280. 55. Right here, right here. Look at him.
On 2nd and 12, Stafford, and this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down. You know, during these preseason games, we're in week 2 right now, it's always funny looking at our spot charts up here in the booth because with all the guys that might play in this one, it seems to get bigger and bigger each year.
Yeah, we pretty much supersize them, don't we? Because, you know, remember, they're carrying 90 now. And with the new rules, they'll carry 90 all the way through the preseason before they make the final cut. Oh, yeah, a lot of guys to learn for these games. This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 53. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the lead moves to 10-zip. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
They begin with a run by Miller. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play. And partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here's Watson. It's complete to Fuller. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
A first down carry now for Miller. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
They keep it with Miller on first down. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now on 2nd and 13. Watson. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 32-yard line.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Hey, we got 3 down. I got 87, that's me.
They'll run on first down. It's Miller. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you've got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You played through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did, and batted it away.
And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
They come out here in the eye. The Texans with the first opportunity now from the red zone. They've got a first and goal just inside the 5. They'll try and run for it with Miller. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. Taking it in from 4 yards out as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And Lamar Miller caps it off with a touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they load him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Here's Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 48-yard line. On the ground, this is Johnson. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let's put that team on the bus.
Now to Galladay on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Ready, lady.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
On 2nd and 12, Stafford. Amendola's got it, complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 13-yard line.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Stafford now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson, and he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And now out comes Houston. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at the 20. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
He's got a man, complete. Sometimes the one-handed catches are unnecessary, but he was trying to ward off the defender with the other, so maybe that was just a good play.
So that tells you that not only do they imagine those types of catches, they actually work on them with defenders jostling them in order to keep their concentration and haul it in.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. They'll try the right side here with Miller. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves them with a 2nd and 3. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They'll go with a draw. Watson hands to Miller. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Watson. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson.
They should have known. They should have known, baby.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Back out is Matthew Stafford in the Lions offense. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, I can see he's looked pretty good to this point. Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. To throw is Stafford. Screen play, Johnson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Johnson. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 2nd and 9. Stafford looking middle, and it's incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hockenson, but now it'll be 3rd down. As we thought they might do here in week 2 of the preseason, they've left their starting quarterback out there for this second quarter, but I would imagine we will not see him after halftime.
Yeah, this is the time of year you've got to get your backup some reps and make sure you protect your starting quarterback.
And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away. He'll return it from the 6. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Texans are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Here's Watson. He's got Fuller. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route, Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Watson now 10 of 17 throwing the ball. He's got a 1st and 10. Miller, he takes this from the 30 to the 34.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
Ready, waiting.
Check 55 to Mike.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, y'all. Let's make these babies cry.
They'll run it with Johnson, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Benardrick McKinney, a first-time Pro Bowler a season ago, in on the tackle there. Throwing on 2nd down. Stafford. James has got it. Complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
And he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive.
Set, waiting.
Mike 37. Right. Strong left. Strong left. Strong left. 4 down. 4 down.
Stafford to Riddick on the draw. And not a lot of daylight. Not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. And that catch number 100 for his young career. And remember, only in his 2nd season. The future, bright.
I'm coming after you.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. 2nd and goal from the 1. Now it's Stafford. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete pass against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Out of the gun, Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 16 yards on that one, and also a Texan first down.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Burke?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, then he curls back inside for the completion.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
Now Miller, he's had a big workload here tonight. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. He was brought down by Devon Kennard. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Watson, he's going to float, and that's caught inside the 30. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. A shotgun handoff now to Miller. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Operating from the gun, Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting. Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Got a man open. It's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. 10 yards on the touchdown pass, as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening, but they found the opening and exploited it.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And with it, his guys take the lead here by a point. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get him back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
And so far, he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that second touchdown now. They had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. From the gun, Stafford, little short pass to James. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Double time. Hey. You got three. Three down.
Now Johnson. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Danny Amendola, that was the intended target, and that'll make it 3rd down. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Riddick with a carry. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. Call it a gain of 4, but not enough. The punt team going to need to be summoned here on 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime, but the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defense, is getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Now a 20th carry of the game for Lamar Miller. Miller with 1st down and more. And all the way up to the 33-yard line. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Double time. Three down.
This is Miller. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Tight down. There you go.
Watson hands to Miller on the draw. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Miller ready for the regular season with his second touchdown of the game. And the Texans push further out in front. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And with that, the lead is up to 8. 5 plays there on that drive. And Lamar Miller caps it off with a touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Operating from the gun. Stafford. Open man is Galladay. Complete. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Definitely the last thing you want to see here in a preseason game. We'll be right back. The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. From the gun, Stafford. Got a man, it's Amendola. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A gain of 22.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Stafford now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Let's go, D.
Throwing is Stafford. And he's got Amendola on the connection. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 15-yard line. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This is fielded at the goal line. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we've come to halftime in a 5-point game. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
In our game, still a lot to keep an eye on. Guys battling, trying to make a ball club. We'll send it back to 2 guys already on our team. That's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Expect to see a good number of backups going forward as we are back and underway here in preseason week 2. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 35.
It's your first drive of the second half. You're down on the scoreboard. Maybe you just say to yourself, let's take a shot, see if we can shake them up. And boy, they hit that one.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. C.J. Anderson of the game. He gets it here. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
On 2nd and inches. Fails. Catch made by Fulgham. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 15-yard line.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Ready. 15 line. 15 line.
I'm here all day.
Snap.
First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And he takes us down to about the 12 for a gain of 3.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Mike 51. Mike 51. Let's go, baby. Turn up. Get that ball. Get that.
On 2nd and 7. Fails. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. And they're able to corral him right around the 8, and that's short of the first down.
Face mask. Defense.
So instead of forcing the field goal, it'll be 1st and goal.
Yeah, the force was trying to make something happen that just didn't need to, right? I mean, the plays happen, let it go. It's over. Instead, it creates a penalty.
Following the penalty, Anderson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal.
Here we go.
Now fails. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Zach Cunningham, there defensively to make that play.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Now the second-year man from South Dakota State, it's Zach Zenner. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 6 yards puts him right on the doorstep, but now it'll be 4th and goal. So out comes the field goal team once more. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Prater's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. It can be a thankless job sometimes to be a kicker, but they're thanking him right now. That's now 4 field goals. He's kept him in the game.
He sure has. That offense has got to find its rhythm because I'm not sure that just kicking field goals is going to allow them to win this game.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter.
Set, ready? 18, Gator.
No. Tackles.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now the backup, A.J. McCarron. And this is incomplete. Jordan Thomas, the one he was looking for. And that takes us from second to third down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. Now here's McCarron on third. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Taken in at the 22. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. And the Lions will take over. So here come the Lions now. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point.
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super tall.
Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Throwing his fails. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
And that incompletion was caused by the defense. I think they were trying to get one into the middle of the field, trying to find a receiver there. But they were in zone defense. And what are the advantages of being in zone? Eyes and reaction. Eyes meaning all eyes are on the quarterback and able to react when he throws the football and rally to that spot. And that's exactly what happened there. Able to get there and knock it away. Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. Here comes Carter. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And here comes the Texans now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
A run by Foreman to start the drive. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Now it's McCarron off play action. Completes it to Dixon. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
Ready to break.
51. 6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls.
On first down, Foreman. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 31-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route.
Ready?
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A carry for Foreman. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Shotgun snap from McCarron. He's got Smith here. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 12-yard line. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Let's go now. 50, plant.
You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby.
They'll run on first down. Foreman. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard.
Ready?
Throwing on 2nd and 3. McCarron. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Texans push further out in front. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And that makes it a 9-point game. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And they finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 34. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now Riddick. And an alley to run. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans 16. This quarterback now just 3 of 6 throwing it, but that last completion gets a first down. On the draw in center. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Tried to go draw play out of the gun down here.
Yeah, they tried to spread things out, didn't they? They wanted to move people away from the center of the field, away from the line of scrimmage near the ball, so that the runner could find some space. Unsuccessfully, though.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. They'll look to throw here. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So yet another field goal to end a drive. That has been a very common theme. He's now hit 5 of them in this game.
Yeah, Brandon, as an offense, you hate that you've had to call on your kicker so often, but you have to love the fact that time and time again, he's come through.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
The run there on first down gets him a yard to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now a play fake. McCarron. He's going to float this over the middle deep. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
To throw, McCarron. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Here's Riddick. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 11 yards there and a Lion first down. He's obviously a bit of a shorter running back. Sometimes when he goes up the middle like that, he gets lost in there and then he pops out for 10, 20 yards.
I actually asked NFL linebackers if that was true. Do you actually lose sight of some of the smaller running backs? And all of them confirmed that that can be a problem. Think of it this way. Two of the top running backs in NFL history, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, both 5'10".
Zenner, a first down carry. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On second and 11 now. Fails. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand.
Let's go.
First target, first catch, and a first down.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get a
they?
little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
This is Bawden, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A 5-yard touchdown run. And now they can recapture the lead if they can make the PAT. Well, they weren't messing around. First and goal, they don't do anything fancy. They just go to the fullback right away.
I like how you phrase that because oftentimes they come back to the fullback when it's late in the down and distance count, right? In this case, first down, let's go get it right now.
And he got it. 6 points on the board. Now Prater to add the PAT. And that one puts them on top here in the third. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A.J. McCarron on his way back out there. He's likely still kicking himself from the interception last drive that wound up leading to a go-ahead score.
And he's going to assume all that came with that one, all right? That's all on him, but he also knows he's got to erase it from his mind and get back out there. This drive, very important.
They'll start the drive with a give to Foreman. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
From the 27, McCarron into the hands of the tight end. This is Jordan Thomas. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down.
Ready? 60 Pittsburgh.
A.J. McCarron looking to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Well contained there defensively. The screen gets only a yard, and it's fourth. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is taken at the 15. 51 yards on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
On the ground, it's Reddick. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
An opportunity to get a drive started here at the end of the third quarter. What you're trying to do is break the game down a little bit. Don't let your guys see too deep into the game, into the future, and say, oh, we got to get here. No, right here, right in front of them, melt the clock down, get to the fourth quarter, try and keep going.
And try to keep that lead.
Exactly.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They go back to Reddick. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. Second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. You're watching preseason football on EA Sports.
Here we go, here we go. 18 Gators. Here we go, here we go. 5.
Throwing on second down. Fails. He's got his man. It's Curse. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
60 outlaw.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Carlos Watkins in there for the stop. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Now, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Ready, 30 base.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Running game working, they'll stick with it on first down. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. First down for the Lions on a nice pickup of 18 yards.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive.
Ready, ready. 10 logo.
Get track, get track.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they'll get this down to the 10. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Here we go, set. 70, Indy.
You better bring. I'm letting you know right now, you better bring.
Snap.
First down, and again they go with Zinner. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. A gain of 3, second down.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. Hey. 4 down, 4 down, 4 down.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. T.J. Hockenson there to make the grab. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Prater on to add the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. A 10-play drive that time. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
McCarron on first down. Thomas has got it, complete. First play of the drive in their hip pocket. Of course, the focus here has to be the touchdown of the 2-point conversion. Field goals are going to help you.
Yeah, but how about that first play of the drive? Just to get them started, nice gain, got some positive momentum going. They're on their way, and they don't have to rush.
To throw again on second down, McCarron.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Now McCarron. And Thomas has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. To throw, it's McCarron. It's caught, Smith. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Got it.
To Mike. 51 to Mike. Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Let's go.
On 1st and 10, here's A.J. McCarron. And this one complete to Smith. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Stepping up, he'll try and run. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
On 2nd and goal. McCarron under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Jalen Reeves-Maybin gets him for a loss of 5. He is so tough to handle on the blitz, and that's Exhibit A.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. Here's McCarron to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. That's a tough one not to hang on to on 3rd and goal, but good job defensively to get there and jar it loose.
Agreed. That was really, really nicely done because there's no pass interference on the play. Timing excellent to get in there and knock it away. A win for the defense, and it brings up 4th down.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. They've been rolling the last couple of drives, each inning in touchdowns. So this game is flipped. They were down. Now they're up with the football. We'll see how they handle it.
Can we get a spy on the headset now between the head coach and offensive coordinator? Because they've been in attack mode. Had to get back into the game. Now they have the lead. Do you stay on the attack? Or do you dial it back a little bit to try and protect this lead?
Well, my cop-out answer would be somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be a fine line, is it not?
I think you're exactly right, but I do think if they can stay aggressive and keep them on their heels, they'll be best served that way.
11 yards there and a Lion 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload, but you and I both know. Well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On the carry, this is Zenner. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Coming to you, coming to you.
On 2nd and 9. Fails. And this is caught by Curse. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. From the gun, they go with Zenner. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a 1st down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Set. 10 Lobo. Watch the curl. Watch the curl. Watch the curl. Get it.
This is center on the carry. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 23 yards, the final tally.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. They come out here in the I. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. And he'll give it here to his running back. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. 2nd down and goal. Fails. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
This close to the goal line, you got to be very careful with the offense calls rub routes. When I call a pick trying to screen you off from your coverage, does a nice job of avoiding that and helping force an incompletion.
No gain on the play, and what to do now on 4th and goal. This is a long drive offensively. Wouldn't you hate to end this with just 3 points?
Doesn't it feel like during a ball game you have certain narratives going on and there's certain drives that seem to take on just a bit more importance than others? This feels like one of those, doesn't it? To me, 3 points here, a major letdown. This is the time to go and put 6 on the board.
Well, it's hard to put your finger on whether this is something to celebrate or something maybe the offense is embarrassed by, but that's now 6 field goals he's made in this game alone.
Yeah, he's bailed them out quite a bit so far, but it's very comforting to know that you have a kicker that's got your back.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. From the gun, it's McCarron. He gets it to Thomas. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. But, you got to get the point. Get on the point right here.
Snap.
Working from the gun here, McCarron. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Here we go. 8 read.
Hey, watch the slant.
On 1st down, Foreman. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
On the ready.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now McCarron. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Jordan Thomas there to make the grab as they now sit just a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up in the 4th quarter.
So they got the touchdown they needed to cut this to 2, but now they've got to get back to the huddle. No celebration time. Got to figure out what they're going to do on the 2-point conversion.
Now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come.
Hey, let's go. I'm coming for you. Mine.
They'll try and run it in. And the failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal. And I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
That fails. And that's complete to Lewis. 15 yards for the Lions there on a 1st down. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And they'll try the jet sweep here. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. That one looks like he'll throw here. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. On the ground with Zinner. And he'll take this one down to the 36. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
From the 36, fails. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. 7th play of the drive, forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Throwing his fails. He's got Curse. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
15 line. 15 line.
Out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field.
And the Lions will take the knee here with victory in the cards. The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Come on, set, 50, plant.
Watch the twist, watch the twist.
Set, go.
And the Lions will take the knee here with victory in the cards.
Down.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Double time. Alert, alert. 3 down, 3 down.
Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it. Well, partner, it's just preseason, but it always feels good to be in victory formation, taking the knee for the W.
Yeah, I've often thought to myself when I watch these preseason games, some teams need the wins more than others. You know, if you're established and you're used to winning, not quite the same. But if you're trying to learn how to win, it's important to get it done. And to be able to kneel down at the end, even better.
So it's a drive that ends in 3, and I know that line sounds familiar. It's because I've said it 7 times now, and that leaves him 1 short of the NFL record of 8 field goals in 1 game.
It has been a lot of settling for 3. But I tell you what, it's nice to know that you have someone this reliable to turn to.
This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They have time here, partner, for just 1 final heave.
And I have to look at it from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that, but also you can't allow the quarterback as much time as he wants to set up and throw it. Maybe you bring a little extra pressure to make sure he gets rid of it quicker.
A little bit of a cat and mouse game. We'll see if they bring that pressure. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some